Alright, today I'm gonna keep doing the challenges. I'm gonna stay here for at least 1 hour. Maybe less, honestly. Create a function that checks if a number n is divisible by two numbers x and y. All inputs are positive, non-zero digits. So I guess this one is really simple. So I need to return true or false. Number n, x and y. Also be doing C++ and Solidity from now on. And I'm doing some courses on Solo Learn, and I'm gonna see if there are any other courses. So I was thinking about doing Code Academy, so I might do that. The pro version, but I'm not really sure yet if it's worth it or not. So I'm probably gonna do a few more challenges on Codewars for a couple of days. Then I might do these courses. I'll probably have finished these courses by then, off string. But if there's more courses, they'll probably do these courses on the Solo Learn site. And if there isn't, then I'm gonna start the build space projects. So I think this works. So if the remainder of the division by x is 0 and the remainder by y is 0, I return true. Over here, I can erase this, and else I return false. It's probably not that easy, but oh yeah, forgot the thing there in the end. Oh, is that easy? Okay, so this one's a really easy one. Let's go to the next one. I forgot the name of the previous one. Oh. Write a function that accepts an array of 10 integers. I think I'll go back to the other one just so I know the names, so I can put it on the title later. I think I'm gonna focus on C++ when it comes to the challenges and the courses. And I'll leave Solidity for when I start build space project. I'll actually try again. Oh, this is the one that I just did it. Because I think I skipped the challenge. Let's try this one. This seems to be more difficult because of the number here, 6Q. But I'm gonna try it anyway. So I think Solidity is gonna be very similar to C++, based on the stuff that I researched online. So I think learning C++, at least a little bit, I think I already know quite a lot, to be honest. And I didn't think I knew that much because I did have a bunch of lessons on the course very fast. And is not that different from JavaScript actually. So yeah, let me raise the curtains. So imagine Solidity is not gonna be that difficult as well. And the only true way to learn from the point that I am now is probably to do projects, but it might be better to do the Code Academy courses first to build at least more a little bit more concrete base before I start actually trying to build stuff, especially on the React side, which I think I know, but not a lot. So depending on how long it takes me to do the courses is what's gonna determine when I start learning on build space. Digital root is the recursive sum of all the digits in a number. Given n, take the sum of the digits of n. If that value has more than one digit, continue reducing in this way until a single digit number is produced. The input will be a non-negative integer. So I'm gonna get a number. It's not asking me to sum all the numbers, decreasing one by one. It's asking me to sum the digits. Sum of the digits of n. If that value has more than one digit, continue reducing in this way until a single digit number is produced. Also, I guess it works because some numbers is sum even if they are big. But doesn't this go to infinity at some point? It can go to infinity depending on the number. I guess not actually. Well, maybe this. It's an interesting idea. But I think it's just integers, so it might be possible that all integers get produced to one character eventually. So I need to think about a way to check if the number has two characters or more. And my idea, I think I'm gonna write some stuff. Then here I'll do check if n has two characters. And this would be the condition. And then here inside of this loop, I'm gonna sum the digits. So now I have to split n into digits, probably in an array. I'm not sure if it's array or list, that the conventional for C++. But yeah, and then I sum the digits and do the process again. And then it's gonna stop. And then outside of here, I can do return n. If the value has more than one digit, continue reducing in this way until a single digit number is produced. The input will be a non-negative number. So I should return the number in the end, I guess. And actually here is probably not gonna be... Oh, maybe it is gonna be n at the end. I'm just gonna be changing the n value in each iteration. How to check if a number has two digits in C++. Oh, percentage operator if done. So far so good. Oh, I'm not sure how exactly. Now what else do you need to do? You need to move forward in your search and compare the remaining digits. Already gave you 7, and you want to look at 14. Just separate 14 from 7. You divide by 10 and get the remaining part, not including 10. Not including 7. Continue your scan till you either find the number or are out of numbers, which is the result. These are code work for negative numbers, so leave that up to you to figure out. So probably this is the solution actually of the thing itself. While number different than 0, int current digit equals number divided by 10. The remainder, if remainder equals digit, return true. I'm not sure if that's the best way. The approach that I'm thinking is not using remainder or anything like that. It's just getting the characters themselves. So maybe I should convert the number into a string. Then I can split the string into an array. And then convert that back to numbers. And make the sum. And then I can check if there is 2 digits based on the length. Yeah, but that wouldn't actually, because I still need to make the condition outside of the loop. So maybe that is the best way. Steps numbers below. Create 2 integer variables. One should store the user provided number and the other should store the total digit count. Ask the user to enter the number. Recursive methods. We can also calculate the total count recursively. Let me look on other sites. Let's just divide it by 10 because yeah, that makes sense actually. So I can use this inside of the function. Because every time you divide by 10, it... Oh, but then I have to use this actually. I need to do it outside. But then that's the problem. Because when you divide by 10, you're getting the decimals. And because it's an integer and not a float, it's gonna give you... But I'm not sure if this is gonna work here. Well, I guess is if it's less than 10, it's gonna return 0, my num, I think. Because it has to be an integer. So it probably does work. So I can do here probably, well, count. Yeah, I can either do approach this inside of the function and then call this function every time. I can put count bigger than 0 here, bigger or equal to 0, I guess. And here would be n, of course. But then inside the loop, I'm not sure. I can probably use the remainder, like they were saying, to sum up the numbers. Just that this way seems more complicated to me, but maybe in C++ it's actually better to do the calculations instead of using strings. To do it just with numbers. So maybe I should put how to get all digits of a number. Maybe that's a better search. Yeah, that doesn't help. So if I have 78 and I do the remainder divided by 10, then I'm gonna get 7 probably. Because it always goes down, I think. So 7.8 becomes 7. So digit will be 7, but I don't understand how that would give me all the integers, all the digits of the number. Not sure if I can use this thing here. Yes, I'm gonna have to put the condition inside of the loop. I think that's better. Because I have to do this recursively. Or yeah, but then that's the problem. Because if I put it inside there, it's not gonna work on the next one. Oh, actually, if I change n each iteration, it might work. Then I have to see if I can use it with 0 or I have to start it with 1. Because I'm not sure how long the loop is gonna work. But I think this might work. Because I'm gonna be changing the n each time. Yeah, so it has to be 1 actually. Because count has to be bigger than 0. Or maybe actually not. Maybe when the count is 0, then... Yeah, when count is 0, then it's 1 digit, so it has to be bigger. So I initialize it with 1. So it runs for the first time. And if it's already a 1 digit number, it's gonna stop on the first iteration. Because count is gonna be 1. No, actually, that doesn't make sense. It should be bigger than 1. Yeah, this doesn't work actually. It just feels that this approach is not the best because I have to do a while loop inside of another one. And I don't think it's the best way. This doesn't talk about external libraries as well, but I assume that I should probably not use any. Oh, so I see what's doing here. It's dividing by 10 and returning the remainder to get all the digits. That's probably what I should be doing. The problem is... let me think. I can initialize a variable which is 0 outside. And then I can scratch this stuff that I was doing. Let's say while while n bigger or equal to 10. And that's gonna be the last base that I do. It has to be bigger than 10, I think. Yeah, because it asks for one digit at the end. So while n is bigger than 10, then I do the remainder. N divided by 10. I'm not sure if this works. And count would be equal to n remainder 10. Plus equals. That way I sum each iteration until it gets to 10. Let's see if it works. Oh, I always forget to put this stuff. It's kind of hard for me for me to think about the divisions and the remainders in the programming sense. And so here I have to do n equals, oh, actually it's the other way, I think. So n equals n divided by 10. Expected equal to 7, actual 1, so it's not working. Yeah, that's the thing. So 16 has to equal to 7. So let's think about this. 16 divided by 10, 1.6 is going to return 1. Yeah, and the counter, that's why it doesn't work. I thought that this was strange, but it seems like the easiest solution, so might as well try, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Because the issue is, how do I get the number that is on the right? Because this is gonna break on the first iteration. I'm actually not sure as well. Maybe we should, how do, yeah, I think it should print and do standard count. We didn't print anything. Because I'm not sure if I'm getting 6 or 1 here, but probably 1 because the answer is saying 1. Yes, probably because I'm getting 1.6, then it strips off the 0.6. Yeah, true, it is the second most significant. I never seen this before. Static cast. Neither is string string. I would guess it's external libraries. I'm confused about the libraries thing. I'm not sure if you can use it or not, but I think this probably indicates that you can't. That the code should be below this stuff. But it would be nice if they had something like free code camp where they specify where your code should go. What parts you are allowed to change to do the challenge. So the digits of n was one. That value has more than one digit. Continue reducing in this way until a single digit number is produced. No negative digits. Maybe I have to use bitwise operations here. So I shift the bit, I shift the right one into the left. I'm not sure. I don't understand bitwise a lot to know how it actually works. Maybe I can also use floats as well. Yeah, but this solution doesn't work for a number with an arbitrary amount of digits. So I have to think more mathematically instead of programming. I have to think if there's a way to manipulate numbers so I can get all digits before I start thinking on how to translate that to code. Oh, so the remainder is gonna be the value outside of the floating thing? What if I did like this? Oh, and here I'm returning n. So that might be the problem as well. Oh, count equals the remainder divided by 10. If the remainder is the last digit, or maybe I have to create another variable. And actually, I have to store this variable inside as well. That's another problem. Because otherwise I'm just accumulating all the values outside of the loop. And that's not what it's asking me to do. So this probably should go inside the loop as well. Because I'm using end as the condition, that's not a problem. So count equals the remainder of n divided by 10. Yeah, but then this doesn't work. Because I'm gonna be doing them one by one. That's the problem. I need to separate each new number on its own thing. So I think there's no other way besides doing another loop instead of this while loop. And this other loop, I modify the n. Yeah, and then I store the value in count. So that in the last iteration, it stops the loop and the count holds the value of the previous iteration, which should be the result. And then I return that. So maybe I can do a for loop. I think I need to do two variables as well. One to do the remainder and the other one to sum the remainders. Yeah. The thing is, if I do another for loop, I have to think about how long what is the condition that is going to stop the for loop. And the condition would be best if it was the digits of the number, because I want to loop through all the digits, finding the remainder and summing them on another variable. And then once I run through all the loops, throughout the digits, the loop stops. So I think here I can also make Yeah, I can make another variable and then. So let me think about the names. I think I'm gonna use B and then C, just so I don't think about it that much. For int I equals 0. Or actually C has to be a number that is greater, or B has to be greater than 10. And then B divided by 10. It's gonna be the iteration. So let me think about this. So I think if I just initialize to 11 or something like that, it would work. Oh, actually, then I'm always gonna run one loop. Yeah, it doesn't work. Unless I modify the value outside, inside the loop. So I'm gonna make count equals the remainder of n divided by 10. I'm gonna make C equals that. Then I'm gonna make count plus equals C. And I'm gonna make n divided by 10. N equals n divided by 10. And then I'm gonna make B equals n. So that way I'm looping until I get to the n. Yeah, but then the issue is the outer loop. Because the outer loop has to be based on the count variable. So maybe I can make count here, and I can initialize it here as 11, just for the first iteration. And then here I can make it equal to 0. And that way I'm gonna hold the variable here, and yeah, then it's gonna be based on the count variable, not the n. I think this should erase this probably. So let me think if that makes sense. So it starts off, actually it should be 11 here. So run the first iteration, then it becomes 0. Here is gonna run one time. Then C is gonna be equals to, let's say n is 16. It's gonna be equal to 6. Then count is equal to 6. Then n is equal to 1. And b is equal to n. Yeah, but then the issue is that it's gonna give me 6 and not 7. Because it's not gonna run one more time. So maybe I should put b bigger than 0 here. And that's gonna solve that. And it has to be b divided by 10 because I want the loop to go uh, catching each digit by iteration according to the value of n. Yeah, and I'm dividing n by 10 here, so it should go as long as n is for all the digits of n. And then if the count is bigger, it's gonna keep going through the loop, I think. There's the other issue that if the first count is less than 10, then it stops the loop. That's the problem. So maybe if I do count bigger than 0, I think I'm gonna test this and see what happens. I'm not very hopeful about it. So here, I guess that should be like this. I can make it this way. So maybe I have to initialize here. Equals 0. Oh, actually, I'm not sure why I'm using I should be using B. But that's gonna give me a mistake as well. Maybe I don't need this. Or I can just do it inside of here. I'm used to JavaScript way of creating for loops. Oh, now it works. Let's see if like this it works. Yeah. No, int I equals 0. So maybe I should be initializing inside of here. So I'm getting 0 and it's supposed to be equal to 7. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's say if C is gonna be equal to 1 here, then count is gonna be equal to count is gonna be equal to 12 actually. Oh, count is gonna be equal to 1 because it's 0 here. So 1 and then n divided by 10 is gonna be equal to 1 as well. And b equals to 1 and it's gonna stop this. No, it's gonna continue to go because b is bigger than 0. Then c equals to 0, count equals to 0. Well, count should be 1 actually, if it was working like that. Because it would be 1 plus equals 0. Well, the problem is that it's 1, then it's gonna keep going. That's the thing. And then it's gonna make count equals 0 again. Yeah, that's the problem. Let me think. At least I think I'm on the right track, probably. I think the only way is probably to use remainder to find the digits, since I probably can't use the other external libraries. But this is more difficult than it seems. The first approach that came to my mind is to split the thing and sum the numbers. It seems the most intuitive for me. To loop through the array of all the characters. But I guess on C++ you probably can't do that. Or you can, but maybe it's not recommended. I can also initialize a variable and make the variable equal to n. And then I can use that variable to find the number of digits. And then I can use that variable to create the loop. The for loop. Yeah, that seems like a good approach actually. So what if I make count equals to n? Then I do this. That way count is gonna be the number of digits. Then I can do a for loop. Count bigger than 0. Count, I think is... I learned that there is a difference between doing minus minus here and minus minus at the end. And I think at the end, you use the count first, and then you subtract. So I think what I want to do here is subtract first. So that way count is going to be the number of digits in n in the first iteration. And then I'm going to loop through this amount. The issue is that I have to change that. in case the number, I have to do a loop. I have to do this loop each time I get a new number. That's the problem. So if I do the way that I was doing before here with the C variable, then I can make count equals C at the end of the loop, the for loop. It would be handy if I could put this inside of a function, so I can call the function each time. Let me think about this. Because then the idea would be to divide n by 10 throughout the loop and sum for the C value. Maybe make C equals 1, then while C. But I have the feeling I'm gonna run into the same issue if I do it like this that I was running at before. Oh, I can subtract 1 outside of here, outside of this one. To counteract the effects of the first. So now the thing is, what number am I getting when I divide by 10? I think I have to do the remainder. This is going to be C plus equals n, remainder 10. So this is going to loop the amount of times of n for the first iteration, because count equals n, and then count equals the amount of digits of n in the first iteration. Then while C, I'm gonna loop through the amount of digits, making C equal to that, to the sum. And I'm gonna do that while C is greater than 0. Yeah, but that doesn't work because that should be bigger than 10. But I think I'm going into the same direction I went in the first one. I think I'm gonna erase this. Which there is probably a fundamental problem here. So let's say if this is 16, then count equals 16, C equals 11. So count divided by 10. Yeah, but that's the problem. I'm not sure if I'm getting 6 or 1 here. Now what number division by 10 is in C++? And then there's no. That's the biggest problem for me because since I don't know that, it's hard to think about how everything's gonna work on each iteration. Because if it's one, it's gonna be one type of thinking, and if I'm getting six by the division, then it's another type. I think it's more likely that I get one here instead of six. Yeah, but then that wouldn't work, right? Because if count is equals to one, this stops, and then it says one digit, but it's actually true. So maybe I should do always. Yeah, but if I do. Oh, maybe if I do one more, it works. And what if count is less than 10? Then I can make count equals 1. So if it's bigger than 10, then I can do this and sum by 1 to take into account the last digit that is not gonna count. So I'd have to do that outside of the loop to not mess up the divisions. Yeah, but then if I do that, well, actually not. Yeah, if I do that, if count's less than 10, then it's gonna be 1, and then it's gonna be 2, which is wrong. So I can do this, I can put the rest in the else statement. No. No, I think it works. But that still probably doesn't resolve what's going on here. I'm just probably not gonna pass, but I'm getting 0. Also this part. Oh, maybe I can do int I equals count, and then I can use I here instead. Okay, now I'm getting 2 at least. Still wrong, but it's an improvement. Oh, so I'm returning count, which is 2, which is 16. And I should return C, probably. So what do I get now? Okay, so I'm getting something obviously not correct. So that means this is making minus 11 forever. Oh yeah, that's a problem. I didn't even think about that. Because if the well, actually, it should stop the loop if it's less than 10. So I don't understand why I'm getting a negative number there. It would be great if I could print stuff. Just see if I can figure it out. So C is becoming a very large negative number. The only time I'm making minus operation is here. And this should be stopping if it's less than 10, so that doesn't make sense. It's probably the division here that is the problem, I would assume. Yeah, there's also the problem. Oh, actually, it isn't a problem because I'm making minus 11 here. So the initial 11 is not a problem because it doesn't affect, C is not affected by the division. It's only N that I'm dividing. Oh, the issue, yeah, that's the issue. I'm not changing the value of N. Yeah, obviously. So I forgot about that. Because I have to divide N each iteration so it doesn't run for forever. Oh, it's actually not gonna run forever, but yes, there's probably something else wrong because it shouldn't be getting negative numbers. And I believe that the count stops at the first iteration after the first one, or maybe it goes all the way back. Because that's the other thing. Yeah, this way is probably not gonna work. I would need to do the for loop again based on the new number. That shouldn't be based on n. That is the initial number. To see the sum of the digits for the remainder number, which is C. So I think I should separate the logic of the while loop for C and this first initial loop. And then I should do something else for C. Which is probably... I think I'm gonna stop here because the timer ran out. Time I have. Also, it's getting close at least. It's 4 now. And I think I'm gonna continue this another time. So yeah. See ya.